Peace is not the absence of conflict, it is the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. Hello, my name is Ezequiel Barraza, and this is my partner, Salvador Cardenas. Now, we're here to talk to you about a very important topic, known as world peace. Now, America, in its history, has tried to bomb its problems away, and we've all seen that that has not worked so far. And, unfortunately, that will never work. How do we know this? By learning through history. Now, like Reagan said, it's about handling conflicts. To handle conflicts brings peace, and handling them in a peaceful way is the answer. An example of this, it would be in a riot situation. When a riot gets out of control, a riot squad is called, and they use high-pressurized water hoses and rubber bullets to incapacitate victims, and the like. Therefore, no fatal wounds are had, and no damage is done.
Now, just because we have to fight for peace, that doesn't mean it has to be a fight full of death or violence. That'd be pretty ironic if you ask me. Rather, we should learn from famous revolutionaries that used peaceful methods in order to gain peace. One revolutionary that came to mind is Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi had led hunger strikes in order to free India from Britain's grasp. Then there was Cesar Chavez, who had used hunger strikes in order to give migrant workers and workers equal rights. And no one can forget Martin Luther King Jr., who had fought for civil rights, leading boycotts and marches, and gave African Americans equal rights in the USA. And the last revolutionary I'll talk about tonight is Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela became the very first president of South Africa. He installed democracy where there once was a dictatorship. Sadly, he passed away December 5th, 2013.
Now, internalizing all of those people, I want you to think about this. Peace does work. These people are a perfect example of that. They all accomplished what they wanted to accomplish in their own lifetimes. So why don't we use it now? It's obvious that it works. People seem to not want to use it for some reason. Take the situation in Baltimore as an example. People want to send the message, stop killing unarmed black teens. However, the way they're sending that message doesn't correspond with it. By burning down buildings and harming innocent civilians, that doesn't really send an era of peace. To send a peaceful message, you must use a peaceful protest.
Now, what about the money that you spend on a day-to-day basis? Well, here's this. If all of the world's countries were to come together and unify, it'd be a lot easier to get other countries' resources that are so scarce nowadays. I'm talking about the necessities: food, water, clothing. Now, if all the countries were unified, it would be a lot easier to get it at your leisure. But I'd like to give an example. Say you're at a buffet, and you want some chicken, some shrimp, and dessert. It's kind of a weird combination, but you crave it, so you go for it. You go across the building, you get your chicken. But then you find out the shrimp is 20 stories up, and there's no elevator. So you walk up those 20 stories because you really want that shrimp, and you go and get it. But then you realize you have to walk down those 20 stories and across the street to go get your dessert. That is how it is in the world right now. Countries with some resources, but none with all of them. If the world was unified, it'd be so much simpler to just get all those resources at your leisure.
Now, keeping that in mind, I want you to think about this as well. It's obvious peace has some obvious benefits. All this saving money, better resources for more people. So why hasn't it been achieved yet? Well, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. As there are those who go for peace, there are those who are against it. Governments can make a lot of money during war because the strain on their economy puts a little more bang for their buck. Gun manufacturers in countries, their profits skyrocket during wartime. And it's not just governments that profit from this as well. There's also mercenary companies that can work for smaller countries who do not want to risk their own troops in a battle.
Now, to go back to what my partner said about countries going to war for profit. Right now, at this minute, the United States has soldiers in Ukraine, which is the country right next to Russia. Right now, America is poking at Russia for war. They are trying to indirectly start a war so that Russia will retaliate and America believes it'll win. And if Russia does win, then, if America does win, America will be able to have their money be worth just a little bit more. What are the drawbacks here? Well, for starters, the people of that country will suffer. The people of the surrounding countries will also suffer. And the already weakened ozone layer will disintegrate because of the nuclear warfare that will be bound to happen. America is playing a very dangerous game of Russian roulette. There are 6 bullets in the revolver. And I say this because if America pokes Russia too much, everybody will pay.
Now, America may seem like the tyrant in the whole scheme of things, and from the outside looking in, that is clear as day. But we as citizens, we do have, if slight, freedom of speech, so we should be the ones speaking out against this kind of regime. Now, before we go, allow us to tell you a story about a man named Franz Ferdinand, the Archduke of Austria, and he was a pretty chill guy. Had a nice mustache, too. Now, as with all chill guys, he had some enemies. And one of those enemies decided to hire 6 assassins to do him in. He was planning on supervising a military installation in a neighboring city. So on his way there, in a caravan of cars, they planned to assassinate him. Now, 2 assassins were supposed to be in the motorcade in the lead car. They got left behind. Think about that. 2 assassins got left behind by a stupid slip of the mind. We just appreciate how dumb that is. I'm not done yet. So, they're cruising along the motorcade. Unfortunately for the assassins, nothing gone as planned, and there's 2 more assassins waiting by the road. One is armed with a gun, and one is armed with a bomb. As the motorcade passed, they looked at it, they looked at each other, and they both chickened out. So, 4 assassins, not willing to do their job, and so far this operation is complete failure. 4 assassins down, but in the name of the dearly departed Billy Mays, but wait, there's more. As the motorcade continued along as scheduled, the 5th assassin also waited by the road by a bridge near a river. He was also armed with a bomb, and when the Archduke passed, he in good faith threw it. And it did not explode. It was set to a timer instead of set to explode on contact. So it literally bounced off the folded cover of the Archduke's car and landed on the car behind it. It detonated and injured 20 people. It did not even kill anyone. That is how bad these people were at their job. So, now, 20 people injured. This assassin knew he was in trouble. So, also in good faith, he swallowed a cyanide pill that was given to him before the operation began. And that did not kill him. Instead, it induced painful vomiting. So now, terrified, vomiting, this assassin knew that his time was probably up. So, also in good faith, for the 3rd time, his 3rd mistake, he flung himself into a nearby river, which was only 13 centimeters deep due to the hot summer. So yeah, about yay high. So now, vomiting, terrified, and horribly injured due to that long fall, the 5th assassin was taken into custody, and no one was killed yet. The motorcade now had to divert to a hospital to tend to the wounded, and the last assassin, the head honcho, had heard of his comrade's blunders and had set up shop in a food shop so he could eliminate the Archduke on his way back. Unfortunately for the Archduke, he stopped right in front of the food shop where he was stationed, and the final assassin took his gun and from 5 feet away, point blank, shot the Archduke, and he missed. The first shot grazed his thumb. The second shot hit him, of course, in the throat. As stupid as that was, the damage had been done. And that was the beginning of World War I. Now, what I want you all to take from this story of war, is to realize these were 6 buffoons, 6 idiots who could not do their job, who did not know what they were doing. And they managed to start a world war that went down in history. Now, think of the opposite of that. Think of smart people, educated people, competent people who know what they're doing, who know what they want, and they're working for peace. Couldn't that happen? Thank you.